Hello everyone, just Goron here and welcome back to building the Beekse Bergen. Boy does it feel good to say that, because it's been a while and this episode has gotten delay after delay. If you haven't been keeping up, I had a problem with my save file while I was preparing for this very episode. Before the Afrika pack even came out, I was already making preparations of redoing the meerkat habitat, among other things. But as I was doing that, I suddenly started experiencing very frequent crashes until the point I just couldn't play the game anymore. So I had to send my save file over to Frontier, who fixed it for me, and I am so glad that they did, because if I had to lose this project, I don't even know what I'd do, man. This is my life almost. So yeah, you might hear a little bit something in my voice during this episode. I have a little trouble speaking because last Friday I had my wisdom teeth pulled, and most of the soreness is wearing off, but I'm still having a little bit trouble speaking, but I didn't want to delay this episode any further, so let's not do that. Let's get started. And before we are going to go into the park, I actually have one little addition outside of the park, which we're going to have a look at. Alright, Future Goron here. As you can probably tell, this episode is pretty long, and that's because we're going for the entire zoo to look at all the things I've changed using the new Afrika pack pieces. So, if you're new to the channel, this is a great chance to catch up on the entire zoo. But if you don't really feel like seeing everything you've already seen, but then slightly different, I'm gonna put some timestamps in the description. This dog won't shut up. Yeah, timestamps in the description. They should also appear in the timeline bar thing, so you can skip to anything that seems interesting to you if you don't want to watch the entire video. Anyway, enjoy! So the only kind of new thing in the zoo is this little building over here. You can tell that the surrounding area still needs some work, but when I couldn't build in the zoo, I just started to make some backstage buildings in a different save file that I could just blueprint in. Well, I said some backstage buildings, but I ended up making only one before the save file was fixed again. And it's this one. This is the education office. And it's actually a little bit dated already. I put in all these awesome little paintings over here, which aren't there anymore. But I double checked the dates on all of my pictures, and the time frame we're going for with the zoo at the moment matches this aesthetic of the building. So once we get to the post-lockdown version of the zoo, once we get to update everything to fit that, we're gonna have to remove all these paintings. But for now, this is what it looks like, and the doors are a little bit slim. That's of course a scaling thing, but I'm so happy with how this turned out. Like, my intent was not to go into too much detail with these backstage buildings, but yeah, that kind of failed with this one. I've been inside of this building, I had a lot of reference of this building, and I had very good reasons to put a lot of detail into this building, which we'll get into in a bit. But yeah, you've got some elephant paintings, some awesome little African markings, and you might be wondering, what is this building made out of? Well, you might be able to guess that it is made out of the stained wood set from the aquatic pack. But you might also be wondering, well, the stained wood doesn't have all these slim parts. How did you do that? And at first, what I did was I took some arches like this, or actually I took the windows, because those have a nice little square thing, and I kind of split them from the group and kind of matched them together like this. So you have these slimmer walls, but the problem with that is that the way that they're spaced out for the windows, you don't have a lot of control over, so it wasn't a perfect solution. So what I ended up doing was using the new arbor wood panels, or wooden arbor panels, from the Afrika DLC, and they looked, once recolored, looked very similar to the stained wood set. And to get the thinner planks in there, I just grabbed a different little thin painted wood plank and just put that in there at an angle to make that thin little stripe. And I did that all around the building. And what I could do with that as well on the inside, yes, there is an interior to this, all of these walls are very thin, which was very helpful because I needed space for the interior. and having a lot of thick walls kind of eats up a lot of that space that you need for the furniture and stuff. So let's actually have a look at that interior. So the reason I ended up making an interior is, again, as I said, I've been inside of this building, and there is a lot of reference for it, because this is kind of the headquarters of the rangers, or the educators of the zoo. And one thing that they do, aside from giving tours in the boat and the buses, and just you can hire them for tours as well, I think, they also make YouTube videos on the YouTube channel of the Beekse Bergen. And those YouTube videos have been such a big help in making tons of the backstage areas of this zoo as detailed as I have. So I thought it was only fitting that I would use their own videos to make their own headquarters as detailed as I could as well, because there's quite a few videos in which they do go inside here. So I haven't detailed every room as much. Basically the ones that have closed doors aren't as detailed. So this one, there wasn't any reference footage of it on the YouTube channel, so all I could remember from being in here was this sofa over here. Yeah, it had been a few months since I was here. So yeah, same for this room. I don't think I even put anything inside here apart from the radiator. And this room over here, I had a little bit more of an idea of what was inside. Oops, there's a bit of terrain sticking through. That's definitely not supposed to be there. Because I have been in this room for a while, because I had a meeting with the education manager of the zoo. But yeah, all I remember is the two desks for him and his secretary person, who actually the person who this desk belongs to is the person who writes all the education signs. So there's a little fun fact for you. But yeah, what else do we have? We've got some more terrain sticking through. Here's a little office as well. I don't know what's inside here exactly. I just kind of filled it up. But this room did have some reference from a little video, so I knew that there were two desks and some posters and stuff on the wall. Clock over there. Put all that stuff in. But the room that I had the most reference for was this one. This is kind of the main staff room. This is where they've got a little table, they've got all these documents over here, some magazines about zoo stuff. There's a little charging pad for all our walkie-talkies. This is a big poster with all sorts of animal pictures on here. I tried to keep the detail down a little bit, you know, this is an area that probably no one's ever gonna visit. So I didn't want to go too extreme with it. But yeah, I think that even that kind of filled. But yeah, there's a little like screen for a beamer that they can pull out. There's a whiteboard over here, which I put some Easter eggs on. I don't know what normally would be on this whiteboard, so I just put "Thank you, Rangers," because yeah, this entire building is kind of an homage to the Rangers, as I explained, and a request for more Ranger requests, which is the video series that I get a lot of my backstage footage from. And then the last little Easter egg is Will Urian, that's me, notice the chopped down tree, and they're voting on it. That's just a little thing that we imagined one day when I was doing a live stream. And I was updating some of the trees around the zoo, because I had noticed that in real life they had been chopped down. And people in my chat were wondering, like, I wonder if when they're chopping down those trees, if they're debating whether you're gonna notice it or not, and stuff like that. Or I wonder if they're moving stuff around on purpose to see if you'd notice. I thought that was a really fun idea. I don't think that's actually a thing that they're doing, but it was a fun little Easter egg to put here, so... yeah, just a bunch of other details, plant pots, little shelf where all the employees put in their backpacks. Back here there's a little storage cabinet where they keep a lot of like antlers and horns of different animals to use during education tours. So that's pretty cool as well. And then the last room we have here is the kitchen, which I'm also pretty happy with some of the detail. I used this new rope piece over here to make this little towel, which I thought was pretty clever. There's also some towels hanging to dry on the radiator. There's some drinks, some microwaves, just some small things. There's a map of Africa, because there is one there. I thought that was a nice little detail. That was kind of the most detail I went. Like, okay, a map of Africa, but I didn't really do every poster the same justice as that. Just if there were like posters and papers on the walls, I would just put some of this stuff around. But yeah, and the last room we haven't seen yet is the toilets over here. Just some sinks. I figured there was a storage cabinet here. I vaguely remembered there being something here, and I noticed I had a lot of space for the toilet booths. So I figured there's probably just a storage closet here, so I put that there. And then in here we have some toilets. All custom made out of like fun pieces and stuff. I couldn't really use any furniture from the workshop. I think the only workshop item in here is this sofa. Because of how small this building was. I really had to make some custom stuff that was even smaller. Oh yeah, this couch I didn't mention. I actually sat on this couch and drank some tea while talking to the rangers. Isn't that cool? I sound like such a fanboy, but I've watched so many of those Ranger Request videos. It was like kind of surreal to be in here. Anyway, I've spent like 10 minutes on this building, so I think it's about time we actually head to the zoo and check out some of the upgrades we made. So let's head into Tejadcam. Alright, so here we are in Tejadcam, walking into the zoo, and the first thing you might notice if you haven't been keeping up with the live streams is that we kind of started expanding the park a little bit. We've got all these new lights and stuff. This is all before we got started on the Afrika pack, but I just want to show it off in case you haven't seen those live streams. Got these functional little lights that are all custom, which are pretty cool. And yeah, just getting started on the parking lot. We're going to continue that on streams in the future. Just slowly building that out, because it's kind of tedious. It's not the most fun thing to do, but it is kind of rewarding in the end when it's all done. But yeah, as we walk into the zoo, you're going to be hearing something. We've got some music playing. Of course, the new update allows us to have custom music in the game. And I took this opportunity and my new connections with the zoo. I already said I had a meeting with the education manager. Well, during that meeting, aside from talking about a little school project I'm going to be doing here, of course I couldn't help but talk about the recreation as well. I mean, that's kind of how I got there. And I mentioned that we were going to be getting custom music, and it would be so cool if I could have the actual music of the zoo playing here. And he agreed, so he sent me over the two tracks that they play at the entrance of the zoo here. You can kind of hear. It's awesome. It's so cool that we actually have this music playing here. Now, I did promise I wouldn't share this music online, so I won't put it up for download anywhere. So sadly, this music is only gonna live in my videos, and if you download the zoo, you're not gonna have it. But still, it is so freaking cool that we have the actual song playing here. So yeah, some more of the parking lot upgrades from the stream, but something else you can notice over here. If you have been watching the live streams, you'll see that this fence is looking a little different than it did before. It was made out of these brace beams. Actually, I should update this as well. Yeah, I have been going around the zoo and exchanging the brace beams for these new painted North African painted wood beam, and they make such a difference. They look so freaking cool. I love how like if you recolor them properly, they look a little bit worn, a little bit moldy, mussy, rotten, whatever you want, like dried out. You can do so much with it, other than just making it look like sloppily painted. So yeah, a huge improvement you will see as we get further into the zoo. And yeah, I just noticed already, like, oh, we should update this one as well. In live streams, in upcoming live streams, we're probably going to go around the zoo and update many more parts using those. So yeah. So let's walk into the actual entrance of the zoo, and here you can also see some new stuff. Again, updated some things with those new wooden beams. Also in the back there. Oh wait. Oh crap. I accidentally deleted those. Okay, I'll have to put those back. I had a little wall set up over here using those new beams. But apparently that was grouped to something I deleted. Because I also had to rebuild this little fence this morning. Because I accidentally deleted it. And I think that must have been in the same group. So I'll fix that later. That's all good. But yeah, new fence over here. Also, this fence was apparently not entirely in the correct spot. So that has been rectified. It is now a lot more accurate. And it looks so good with the new wood. Also, this little building over here used to have a wood roof. Updated that to be gutter or corrugated roof, because I think that's actually what it's supposed to be. And I made this building out of the new arbor wood set as well. Yeah, just to get that little worn look, and I think that looks really, really good. I'm really happy with that. Yeah, so this little building over here, is it a building? It's kind of like a shade structure more than anything. This has also been updated with the new wooden beams. Just I love them so much. Got some new drainage things in there that we didn't have before. And I noticed that there were some lamps in the ceiling. So I added those. Added this little sign which we didn't have before. Looking really good. Now you might have expected me to update this building with the new plaster pieces. But I actually think it looks fine this way. This building is supposed to look a little bit worn and weathered. So I think the temple pieces do it a lot more justice than the plaster pieces ever could. Where I did use the new plaster pieces is over here. These little pillars were before made out of the Australia pack, like metal beam things, to the square ones. These ones over here, those looked fine, but I'm just glad that now they're actually made out of stone. So that's just a minor little improvement over there. Now, before we get into the zoo over there, we're actually gonna turn around, because we're gonna walk around the entire zoo today. So if you're new to the channel, this is a great episode to catch up on everything that we have so far. So we're gonna go over here real quick, because over here we have the Persian leopard aviary. And if you recall what it looked like before, this entire roof was made out of... Ooh, okay, we're going up. This entire roof was made out of lattice panels. And also it had a different shade of green, which was the wrong shade of green. I don't know why I ever made it that color. But it's a lot more accurate now, and yeah, the new mesh pieces are freaking amazing. They're a little bit hard to work with, like they kind of tend to disappear a little bit if you look at them at a certain angle, but still, this is so freaking cool looking. I'm so happy with this. And another added benefit of them is that before we had the chain link fence. Hello people, please move out of my way. Before we had the chain link fence, which would go through the window, so you had a window with chain link inside of it. And now, because of the new mesh pieces, we can just go around that and have actually a proper viewing area. And also, because there is no barrier here now, or at least it's a null barrier, I was able to get the path much closer up to it. So every little viewing area has the path like almost up to the glass now. So that is just looking a whole lot better. And yeah, that's just a great little rework we did there. So yeah, super happy with that. Let's move on. We're gonna go inside of the first primate house real quick, because also thanks to the new mesh pieces, I've been able to do something in here that I've been wanting to get right since the start of this project, really. The mesh ceiling. Every primate house here, well, every primate house, there's two of them, hello. The two primate houses of the zoo have a mesh ceiling, because the keepers are actually able to walk on top of here and throw down food and stuff from above to get a nice little spread them around the entire indoor area, so that the chimps and the gorillas as well over here have to do some effort in gathering all the food. And yeah, before we made this using the glass ceiling, because it had all these like structural support things, so if you kind of would ignore the glass being there, it looked kind of like this, but this is just so much better. Super, super happy with that. Just a nice little small upgrade. It's all small upgrades that you're gonna be seeing here today, but they're all so, like, there's so many small upgrades that the overall quality of the zoo has just gone up so much. Because yeah, one thing, you might have noticed it already when we were walking back there, didn't really draw much attention to it, but put in these new beam things on the rope fences. So yeah, that's a lot. I placed a lot of these things already, guys. That's like 1258 in the rope fences alone. Then there's like some other structures as well, where I must have placed like 1500, maybe even 2000 of these new wood beam pieces already. So, and we're gonna do more of them, because there's plenty more places where they're gonna be good. Alright, anyway, there's nothing new here, so let's move on to over here. There's just a tiny little upgrade over here as well. The backstage area of the gibbons. We also use the little glass roof thing here, and now there's just some nice mesh up there, so that's all good. Then over here, got some more of those new logs or beams on this little bridge. And you can see here we did a little different color thing, so a lighter color, and it just looks so realistic and awesome. Yeah, okay, the lions. Here's something we talked about in the last episode. We were doing that new, like, custom anti-climbing on the lion habitat that we built in the last episode, and I mentioned that at the entrance habitat of the lions and at the tiger habitat, those are actually supposed to have the same anti-climbing as we built last time. But I hadn't. I was using the in-game anti-climbing here. Well, I fixed that, and not only that, because of the new mesh pieces, we were able to make the anti-climbing so much better looking. So yeah, and there's a little overgrowth over there, which is there in real life as well. Now finally there, because I couldn't really put this over the old one, because of obvious reasons, like it just didn't look right on top of the in-game anti-climbing. But with this one, oh, it looks so good. And also, the backstage area for the lions now has the mesh over it instead of font pieces. Yeah, it looks so freaking cool. So yeah, just a minor little upgrade again, but such a vital one. And I'm just throwing stuff at you because we are immediately seeing the next little upgrade. Again, something that I've been meaning to change ever since I first built it. This was before just made out of concrete grid pieces. It was just one giant slab of concrete, and it looked fine, but it didn't look like bricks, and that's what they are. They're bricks of concrete stacked on top of each other to create this retaining wall over here. And now this one I'm not a huge fan of. I tried to make it look as dirty as it is in real life, but it just looks a bit messy. But I kind of didn't put too much effort into these, because yeah, these are going to be disappearing soon, when we are going to get to the post-corona changes update, basically the season 2 of this project. This entire like dike, dam, land bridge, whatever you want to call it, elevated path is entirely gonna go to make room for, well, not really anything, but it's gonna make the entire savanna habitat a lot more stretched out and flat, so that's gonna be really cool. But yeah, that's just a change the zoo made, and we're gonna abide to that in pretty soon. But yeah, just having these concrete bricks be actual bricks is just another nice little update. Thanks to the new plaster pieces, of course. I've been meaning to update this ever since I built them, as I said, but I just never found a piece that could do them justice until the Afrika pack gave it to us. So yeah. But let's pull through. And here's something that you might be surprised to see. I know, some people expected me to. But here we've got an aviary, and I didn't actually change much about them. Some people wondered if I was gonna put the new mesh pieces in the aviaries, but it's so much work. It would be so much work to get them into these shapes, first of all. Then on top of that, as I mentioned earlier, at certain angles you don't even really see the mesh pieces all that much. So that work kind of doesn't seem worth it. And then on top of that, with all the little triangles and stuff like that, you can't really get the mesh pieces in this shape all that well anyway. So it's a lot of work. It wouldn't look that great. You wouldn't even see it all that much unless I like compromise some of the shape of the aviary. But that's kind of the thing that I went with, and I wanted to capture more than anything, is the shape of these ropes and stuff. This is not the best example. We'll see it with different aviaries later. But yeah, I felt like it was too much work for not what wouldn't really be that good of a result. So I decided against it. But yeah, not a lot of changes here. There's actually one of the things I also might want to use the new wooden beams to update. But probably not going to do it for this area quite yet. This is, I think I've said it multiple times already. I say it every time I am here. But this is one of those areas of the zoo that I really just want to do a very big overhaul of in the future. So I try not to do too much to it for now until we get to doing that overhaul. And I'll tell you what, after this episode I am really looking forward to doing that overhaul, because we did do a big overhaul of an area, which we'll get to in a bit. There's some other stuff to check out first, but yeah, the new Meerkat area is pretty freaking cool. So stay tuned for that. First we're gonna go into the Afrika village though, where we have more stuff using the new logs, new beams. I put them on the goat habitat, and yeah, it's kind of sad music time. Cue the sad music, but this is kind of a goodbye gift in a way. The goats are no longer in the zoo. They tore down the habitat. The goats have probably moved somewhere else. I'm not exactly sure what happened to them. But yeah, due to hygiene reasons, I mean, having a petting zoo next to a food court isn't the most hygienic thing. On top of that, the zoo didn't want to encourage people petting any animals, so allowing kids to pet the goats but not the tigers or the giraffes sends kind of a mixed message. So not having a petting zoo in the real zoo was kind of a better way of handling that. So that's where the goats are gonna go. So yeah, when we get to the post-corona update, we're also gonna remove them, but not before giving them a nice little update with these new wooden beams. So that looks really good, and I'm gonna miss you, buddies. You brought me a lot of good memories, and I love that you jump on this rock all the time. Also, another little invisible upgrade to this place. You can't actually see it, but it is there. I was able to remove all of my trickery with making walk-in habitats for any animal using the car tracks underneath the ground and stuff. Because now, thanks to the 1.6 crap, thanks to the 1.6 update, we now have sandbox settings. And one of the settings is that we can disable guests fleeing from animals. So doing so just allows them to enter any habitat they want. So yeah, no longer need those little tricks. So yeah, you can see this guest over here just entering the goat habitat and not running for their life, despite there being no things underground here that would make them do so. But yeah, let's go through here. We've got another minor little upgrade. For a while I've been meaning to hide the keeper gate that was in this little aviary over here, and now with the new mesh fences I was able to do that pretty easily. You can actually see something kind of interesting, is that this is still a barrier, but because the keeper gate is underground, the hole that would be made for the keeper gate was just left empty. So I filled that up with mesh pieces and made my own door. And that looks a little bit better and more accurate. So yeah, this little aviary got a little upgrade in that sense. And the aviary that got a little bit of a bigger upgrade is just right around the corner here. This one has been meshified. This is the only aviary I did put mesh into, because in real life this aviary does have kind of, it's not mesh, I don't think. It's like a net, very, very thin, ropey net. But yeah, this is the one aviary that kind of looked a little bit bland without stuff like this, because it doesn't have the ropes and stuff to kind of help it stand out. In real life, this aviary is home to the weaver birds, 2 different types of weavers. I'm not exactly sure what they're called. I'll put it on the screen now if I don't forget. And yeah, what's really cool is in real life you can kind of see them build all of their nests. I can actually put some footage up of that now, because we've been doing the zoo tours. I've been making lots of recordings of all the different animals. So yeah, here's some footage of the weaver birds. Why not? You can see all their little nests that they've been making. It looks really cool and intricate. But yeah, let's go on our way back. It turns out I forgot to update the music here. That's something I'll have to do. And on our way back, let's actually pass through the rhino stall, which now, of course, has a butt. It actually has a southern white rhino. Okay, let's just go inside. I don't care. I'm the owner of this zoo. I can do this. So yeah, we have an actual white rhino in here instead of the Indian rhino. So that is, of course, a huge improvement. Of course, don't tell Frontier, but we did already have a modded rhino in here, but I removed them. Don't worry. I actually removed all the modded animals from the zoo for now, because of the update, and I'm probably not gonna put them in until the zoo is finished. Oh, he's turning around. Look at that. Oh, such an improvement. So freaking cool. We'll be able to see more of them on the field. So let's go over there, because there's some other things I want to show there as well. I lost my train of thought. So, oh yeah, the modded animals. Yeah, I removed all of them. Probably gonna put them back in once the zoo is done. So yeah, we'll see about that. Oh, don't you love hearing the flamingo? Oh god, they're so loud. Okay, I'm just gonna have them settle down. Are you guys done? Okay, so yeah, here at the rhino field we also have the rhino walking around. 4 females, I think. I think that's the right amount compared to real life. Yeah, we still have the forest buffalo acting as Watusi cattle. Added some of the new grass, not a lot. Still want to do something to make this field look a little bit better, but I don't know what. Maybe more of this sort of junk. I don't know. It still looks a bit bland, but we'll work on something. Something new. I suck at talking. This is new. Well, we had a chain link fence here before, but of course the barriers have to be facing straight up. Well, in real life, this fence over here is at an angle, and because of the new mesh pieces, we're actually able to do that. So now we're having an angled mesh chain link fence over here. So that's really, really cool. And this is where I first used those new beams, and I was like, wow, these are great. I could actually recolor these a little bit to make them look a bit better, but yeah, this is where I was first experimenting with their look. Like I tried to make a little bit greenish, and soon that spiraled out of control. So shut up. Oh yeah, over here you can also see some upgrades on the concrete retaining walls. These look a little bit better. I'm a lot more happy with these. So yeah. Now then, I think there is not a lot here, but we are getting to the big upgrade area. Of course, we've been working on the meerkat habitat, but before we get to that, You can already see a lot of it over here though. A lot of upgrades using the new grasses. Just, I've made a lot of tweaks and changes to this area. One big change I did at the start is make all these paths 3-meter paths to give myself a little bit more space. Like there's like 1, 2, 3 paths basically. So making them all 3 meter gave me like, well, 3 extra meters of space for the meerkats, and that was a huge help. But before we get to the meerkats, just want to quickly have a look over here. Wow. It's almost like I planned it. Yeah, of course, during one of our streams, we've got educators in the zoo. So it's kind of fitting that we have the education office now, kind of in the same update as the educators. They're all kind of gathering over here, which isn't great. But yeah, this area has also gotten a little upgrade because of the new plaster pieces. I was able to make this seating area a lot better. Yeah, we got the educator kind of doing their thing over here. This bridge, of course, also upgraded. This one isn't entirely accurate. I don't think all of them are, except for the first bridge. But I made this bridge 1 block less wide, so I wouldn't have to change the kind of shape of the terraforming at all. So yeah, that was just a little compromise, but I think it still looks really, really good. So yeah, you do your thing. There's actually benches in here. I really tried my best to make this area a lot better than it was before, because it was really, really old. Now there's like, I think 4 benches in this entire thing, so and they're a lot better aligned than before, because the old one also had benches in it, but they were like pretty deep into it, so if people sat down on them it looked really weird. Should look a little bit better now, but yeah. Let's have a look in here real quick just to see that, yes, oh my god, yes, also over here we've got the new mesh ceiling in, just like the other primate house, and yeah, that is all there is to say about that. Now let's get to this part. So lots of new stuff over here. Completely redid all of this foliage around the place. I noticed the other day that there's a kind of a little bit of a path back here that goes around. It also kind of goes in here. This is not a viewing area, you dumbasses. To this little backstage, which we already had. And ooh, sneak peek. And for some reason, back when we first built this was the biggest inaccuracy of the meerkat habitat. I thought that this was the keeper entrance. So this is where we put the keeper gate. A little fun fact, this is actually the habitat in which I discovered the ability to put keeper gates underground, which has been a huge help in the zoo later on. But yeah, I thought this was the keeper gate, but months later I found out that the keeper gate is actually on that side. So ever since then I've been wanting to redo the habitat, but I never felt it was like, it felt like a waste of time almost. But now that we have actual meerkats added to the game, it was like the perfect time to give this little upgrade. So we got some custom bushes here with these little white flowers, looking pretty cool. Very lush area. I mean, during the summer this area is just super, super lush, which you will see hopefully later this week. I'm gonna be uploading another real life zoo tour about the Beekse Bergen, where we're gonna go over a bunch of things that I haven't been able to show before, as well as some new stuff. But enough about that, let's get to the meerkats. Now sadly, no one is getting up to them in there, which is a real shame, because this is such a good viewing area. But yeah, we got the little updated sign that we did in the Afrika pack sign stream. But here is the upgraded meerkat habitat. Let's get up here. In real life I always climb on top of these rocks because you get such cool views. Yeah, just a huge upgrade over here, and just the real meerkats walking around. They look so good in this habitat. Like, it's just scaled perfectly in my opinion. It's so good. So yeah, what did I change well, well, I completely changed the layout of it. I actually have a video I can show you in which the concrete barrier that you can see is the new layout, and the thing I'm pulling up and out of the ground was the old layout. And you can just see how much the shape has changed. It's a lot more accurate now. It's so much better. Yeah, wow. Other improvements include the use of the faux rock branches to create some makeshift mud spots, custom burrows, and stuff like that. Of course, the meerkats burrow themselves, but those burrows look a little bit, you know, they look fine. They do the job, and it's so cool that they actually burrow. That's such a cool behavior to them. You know, I like having a little bit of control over what happens. Oh, look, there they go. No, are you gonna go? Maybe not. Yeah, I like having control over what happens in my habitat, but it's a cool feature just because these are wild animals. Like they're gonna dig around your habitat. They're gonna do stuff like that, and you're not gonna have control over that. So that's, in a way, a really cool mechanic from like a zoo game perspective. What's happening over there? That's weird. It was kind of just puffing. So yeah, super happy with all of that. Of course, they don't use the custom burrows, but that's fine. Hello. What the hell? Yeah, I tried to put the new enrichment item log in there, but whenever they used it, they got boxed up at the end. Oh, hello. I love it. So yeah, had to put a different log in there. Also, yeah, this habitat required a lot of tweaking, moving around the fake burrows and stuff like that, because they kept getting boxed up and couldn't get back into the habitat because of that. So just eventually all the meerkats would just be boxed up over there. So had to tweak a lot so that didn't happen, and I actually haven't seen a single one of them get boxed up since then. So that's I'd say that was a success. So yeah, let's get back down and have a little walk around as well. Another huge upgrade to the meerkat habitat is these little things. This, in real life, you could crawl inside and actually get a bit of an inside look of the habitat from this little dome shape over here. Hello. He dug through concrete. You can actually prevent them from digging by putting down a little rock. I put rock in this little moat. It's not really a moat. There is water in there, but it's so shallow that it's kind of just soggy. I think the times I've seen water in there is probably just after rain, and the rain kind of congregates over there. But I liked having the water in there also so that they have something to drink. But yeah, in real life you can crawl inside here and get some amazing up-close views of the meerkats. And if you're lucky, they're as curious about you as you are about them. So they will... There's a good chance that they will come up to you and kind of check you out a little bit, which is just freaking amazing. Yeah, this has also just been improved over the last version. I think in the first one I barely had... this was barely round. Like, I just had some art shapes and whatnot. The size is a lot better, the details are a lot better. It's actually got this little brick trim, which it has in real life as well. So yeah, and also the tunnel itself is actually round now, instead of being like a hexagon or something, whatever I made it. But of course, I already mentioned it, the biggest upgrade. Just look at how lush this place is. I love, I love how this turned out. The new grass, of course, is a godsend. Like, it's so good. I don't think the eel grass is obsolete just yet. I think it still looks really good in combination with actual grass and just as little strands of grass in general. But yeah, the new grass is freaking amazing. Just no doubt about that. But yeah, over here, if we go through this little lush spot, we get to the keeper gate. Of course, the keeper gate itself is hidden down here. But this is a real life keeper gate. And this entire kind of corner was missing from our previous iteration of this place. So I'm really happy that this is here now. And it looks really, really good. I'm so happy with how this turned out. And I'm so glad with this entire overhaul of this habitat. And yeah, I mentioned before, I'm really looking forward to overhauling some other older areas of the zoo in the future, like the hyena place, because this has been a huge success. Super, super happy with it. Alright, time to turn around and continue along our merry way. We are going to check out the tiger area, which also has received an educator. It's not really accurate to real life. In real life, the educator kind of puts the tigers into their backstage holding area and then enters the habitat, does the little show and releases the tigers again after putting down some food. But yeah, can't really do that in game. So in our version, the educator just stands kind of over here and talks about the tiger. Oh yeah, I completely lost my train of thought there, but of course over here we also have the new anti-climbing thing, and that's kind of all there is to see here. Also, yeah, of course, the backstage. Let's have a look up close. I don't know why I thought that would work. I don't know why I thought using this as a bridge would work. We're gonna have to walk around. Alright, let's go through the backstage real quick. This place still needs some tweaking, but yeah, over here, again, instead of fun pieces, we now have mesh pieces. Really, really great. Super happy with that. Alright, so here at the last tiger habitat, we've got more of those log upgrades. Super, super happy with. I promise there's only like one more area where I really want to show off the new logs. And it's not this one, although this is also one. Here we did use the greener color a lot more, to, I think, pretty great effect. Just look at that. Yeah, it's such an improvement. So happy with it. So I just want to show it on the inside as well. Got a much lighter log with a bit of damage. And that's that. So enough of the logs. I promise there's only one more area where I want to show them off, because it's a pretty huge upgrade there. But now, you know, I'm saying that, but I just realized that actually the only things that are really left to show is the new logs. And over here we also have some music playing. Now, we've kind of come at the wrong time, because it's just the same music at the entrance. But I do have a different music loop for this one that includes some like African jazzy, jammy. It's not jazz. It's just some African beats and stuff. I do have a video on there is a video on YouTube that has like several of the songs they actually play at the zoo. But a lot of that music is of course copyrighted, so I wouldn't be able to put it on YouTube. So there isn't really a point to putting that music in. So what I did is I got some similar sounding music from the YouTube music library. So I'm actually just gonna wait for it to play. So I'll be right back. Alright, so this is the music. It's just ending. Are you kidding me? Oh, that's so stupid. Okay, so I accidentally recorded the rest of the episode without actually hitting record. I thought I didn't quit recording after I was taking a little break waiting for the music, but I did. So when I came back, I just started recording the rest. But now the music has already looped back, so it's gonna take like 10 minutes to get to the other songs. So I'm just gonna walk away from that, and I'll play you some of those songs. We'll just stand over here. So yeah, this is the sort of songs that I've picked from the YouTube music library. It is made by the Mini Vandals featuring Mamadou, Koita and Lasso. And yeah, it's just this nice little African jam sort of stuff, and it has a similar vibe to the songs they play at the real zoo, except with no lyrics and stuff like that, which actually only makes it better for me for like video purposes. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. Now the only thing that is a little bit sad is that I'm pretty sure it's not allowed to like redistribute music like this. So of course with billboards and stuff I can make a video and share it on like Google Drive and stuff, but I think putting music and stuff like that on Google Drive and sharing it with people is illegal. So I don't want to do that. So if you want music in your zoo file when you download the zoo from the workshop, what you want to do is just download the songs. I'll put the songs in the description, and I'll also put a video link to the songs that they actually play at the real zoo. And if you want to hear that stuff in the park, you're gonna have to kind of download that, put them onto one big audio file using a program like Audacity or something, and put it in your user music folder under the name SBB space music space park space loop dot wave, I guess. And if you name it the exact same way, it should just work. The game shouldn't really discriminate. The entrance music has this name. So yeah, I'll put that in the description as well. Just if you download the zoo and you want the music, that is. Yeah, I'm sorry I can't provide that, but I'm pretty sure that's illegal, so I'm not going to do that. But yeah, it's not really a vital aspect. It's only like 2 areas of the zoo that have music anyway. So yeah. Anyway, another log update. I really hope you guys don't mind me showing like all of these, but they all look so freaking good. Like, I'm so happy with these new logs. They just make me so happy. Even more over here. Got some nice little color variations and stuff. Really happy with that. And yet another log upgrade over here for the bear habitat. Damn, there's a lot of people here. Just so good. Also the entire bear bridge has got new logs. And I want to update this mesh, or this netting that we did with fun pieces, and do it with mesh pieces. I was just lazy. I didn't want to do it yet. It's going to be a lot of work. But it's gonna look really, really good, so we are probably gonna do that at some point. Then if we go across here, we have a look at the Sitatunga habitat. Of course the mods are currently not installed, but yeah, we built this on the live stream. And actually the other day at the zoo I was taking some pictures of the parking lot back there, which is kind of the halfway point of the car safari, so that's why there's a parking lot in the back of the zoo. And it has like an access road to this little stall over here. So I took some pictures of that. So I got a bunch of new reference that we can use next time we work on this, which we will definitely be doing again on a stream pretty soon. So yeah, look forward to that. But for now, let's keep going along over here. I'll meet you guys up. I'll meet back up with you guys at the Okapi stall. And there isn't actually something to see here, but that's exactly what I want to talk about, because I was really hoping that using the new building pieces, especially these ones, I was going to be able to make a little update to the Okapi stall. And these pieces were almost perfect. Look at them. They have the exact right shape, but they don't, because they have this kind of flat area. So if I were to kind of put them like I would want, they would end up just kind of blocking each other out, really. Like there's nothing nothing really to see there. And there is a corner piece for them, which is this one, but the corner piece just has the corner kind of filled in, so it's a lot thicker. Doesn't look right. So yeah, we're just gonna have to keep what we already had, which is a bit of a shame. I was hoping to be able to make it look a bit cleaner and stuff, but it looks really nice still, so it's not a huge deal. just a minor disappointment there. But yeah, only a couple more things left to see, just some more minor updates. First of all, added some flowers and lushness to the hyena habitat. I noticed now that the zoo is in spring, that is there basically. So yeah, just added that. And of course another mesh update. And over here you can see why some people are a bit disappointed with, especially the chain link. It kind of just disappears at certain distances and angles. You don't really see it anymore. The mesh is really good. Chain link is a little bit, yeah, invisible sometimes, which is why it's not always worth the effort of doing all these elaborate chain link constructions, and which is why I'm not doing the aviaries. But for now, like, this area looks really good this way, and I'm super happy with it. This area is up for some re-logging as well. Probably gonna do that on a live stream pretty soon, so do look forward to that. But that is pretty much it. There's only one tiny detail left to see, which is over here. There is some rocks underneath some chain link, which is something that there is over here. It's just a little detail. It's probably just a retaining wall type of thing, just to make, just to make, like, to help keep all the land together for this little lake over here. Thought it was a nice detail to add, but we couldn't do it before because we didn't have chain link, but now we do. So yeah, that is it. I really need to catch my breath real quick because that was a long recording session, and also having to redo the last bit twice because I didn't record it is just really dumb, to be honest. But yeah, I'm gonna meet you guys back up at the Meerkats, where we're gonna discuss my thoughts on the Afrika pack. And of course, as luck would have it, I somehow didn't press record again, or at least something else happened that caused me to lose that footage because it's not there anymore. So I'm just gonna keep this kind of short because I noticed that the recording session I had earlier today is straining my cheek a lot. It's either that or the lasagna I tried to eat because I was getting very sick of liquid foods only. But yeah. So before I get started on giving you my thoughts on the Afrika pack, I feel like I should mention that I did get a review copy from Frontier, so I didn't actually pay for the DLC. So thanks a lot for Frontier for providing me with that. This is the first time I've ever gotten a review copy for anything, so that was pretty special already. I don't think it will have changed my view on the pack, but I just feel like I should disclose it regardless. They didn't tell me that I am not allowed to critique it or anything. They literally just gave me a code and said, make sure to tag your videos with this and this so that we can find them. So there's no rules on what I'm allowed to say and whatnot. So don't worry about that. I don't think it would have changed my opinion if I had paid for this. I totally would have, because I am of the opinion that if you play the game as much as I do, you should just buy every DLC that Frontier throws at you. I mean, it's probably gonna be worth it if you play the game as much as I do, that is. If you don't, if you're not one of those people and you do kind of want to consider your choices in DLCs, I think the Afrika pack is still definitely a must-buy. If you have seen everything that I did in this video today, the Afrika pack has been a total game changer for me. I reworked so many areas of the zoo, and I'm gonna rework so many more because of the new pieces that we got in this pack. Yeah, total game changer. And then of course you've got the animals, Southern White Rhino, very common zoo animal, meerkats, African penguin. I think almost every zoo has them, if not the African penguin, the Humboldt penguin, which looks very similar. And then the fennec fox. I haven't actually seen them yet because they don't really have to go into my zoo, but I mean, that's just a great animal as well. And some small animals. No, I don't think small animals mean that they are less valuable. I feel like I've seen that opinion somewhere and it doesn't make any sense to me. As exactly as much work goes into making big or small animals. So, and I'm super glad we got some small animals, because that's something that I thought was severely lacking in this game. Piece-wise, I mean, you've got the new wooden beams, which you've seen me praise the hell out of already in this episode many times. The arbor wood set, which has that nice worn look that you can use to make some janky things. And the plaster pieces. The plaster set was already one of the most versatile sets in game, and now it's 10 times better. How did they even do that? But yeah, no, if you don't own the pack already, I definitely recommend it. I mean, you've probably made up your mind by now. I'm so late to the party due to circumstances outside of my control, so I don't think that I have that much to add to the conversation. But yeah, so do I have any criticisms? Not really, no. The only major criticism I have has to do with the sound of the meerkats, of which there really isn't much. You just hear a little and of course there's a digging sound. But let me throw you up a video of the actual meerkats at the Beekse Bergen and just listen to them. Yeah. That is such a fun and cute and adorable sound, and that is just completely missing from the game. So that's something that yeah, was a bit of a bummer to me to not hear that back as a hashtag meerkat fan. So yeah, that's just one thing. And then if we're getting really nitpicky, I wonder if I'm gonna be able to actually hear it. We're gonna have to find a rhino who's drinking. Yeah, I really dislike that sound. It sounds like someone trying to unclog a toilet, and I just noticed that one time. And now I cannot hear it. So, but that's just being nitpicky. I mean, the meerkat sound is a valid complaint in my opinion. That's just a nitpick. But yeah, just thought I'd mention it. It's a bit of a bummer because sound is like one of the main things. I know I shouldn't compare in-game animals to mods too much, but I mean, mods are a thing, so I just kind of want to. Because a lot of times modders claim that like, oh, why is Frontier so slow at releasing animals? I can make an animal in a day. And I always just think to myself, like, sure, then you have a model, but Frontier has to do the rigging and the animations and the sound. I've said multiple times, I think sound is the one thing that takes up the most time in the animal creation process, because they have to make so many sounds. And usually they do an amazing job with most of the animals. So to find that the two animals I've placed down so far, I've kind of have complaints with the sound on both of them. It's a bit of a bummer. So yeah, that's my main complaint, but that is like such a minor complaint on this amazing pack. Just wanted to get it out there to show that yes, I am capable of giving criticism. I'm not just gonna praise logs all day. That's not the only thing we do here. But yeah, that's gonna be it from me today. We're gonna wrap it up here. It's been a very long episode, so it's about time that I finish editing it and get it out to you guys. So we're gonna end off with some comparison screenshots, not just of the game versus real life, but since the entire episode has been consisting of little updates, we're gonna have a before, after, and then a real life picture, so you can see what it was, what it's now, and what it compares to. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'll see you guys in the next video stream or whatever comes first. I'm not sure when the streams are gonna be starting, because yeah, after today I noticed that my wisdom tooth pains are not quite over yet, and streaming is definitely not gonna help me get it over with sooner. So probably gonna be a couple more days until I'm gonna be streaming for you guys. But before that all starts, we are gonna have another real life zoo tour, as I said throughout the video. So I'm gonna be working on that right after I finish working on this, basically. So you'll be seeing that later this week as well. So hope you enjoy that. I'll see you then, and bye bye for now.